What's happening, beautiful people? This is Jessica Plins, and I am bringing you my Makeup 101. Get ready. Before applying any makeup, you need to know what you're working with. So pull out your mirror, and with a clean face, take a really good look at your skin. Look for your fine lines, wrinkles, blemishes, dark spots, broken skin, flaky skin. Are you irritated? Do you have large pores? Where do you normally get oily? Really take the time to get to know what's happening with your face. And with that, you'll be able to choose the appropriate products to actually combat either what you want to hide or play up your favorite features. But you have to know first. Starting with toner that I've mixed with a shimmer, I'm going to use this to moisten my face and pat it in so I can have my first layer of hydration. Next is moisturizer. I like to use a thick moisturizer, something that's creamy and emollient. I use a good amount, warm it up in between my hands, and I massage it into my face. I feel before makeup, you cannot use too much moisturizer. It helps everything melt together. Sometimes I'll go for moisturizer and skip a primer, but what's most important is massaging it and working it into your skin. So I take this moment, maybe about 2 to 3 minutes, to really pamper myself, give myself some affirmations. I am strong, I am kind, I am beautiful, I am about to glow. Okay, and this massage also helps to plump the skin, get the blood flowing, really wake up my face. And also notice, it's all upward motions. I, at no point in time of my life, will drag my face down because wrinkles ain't cute, and that's not what we're doing here. So every movement is a push and massage up to lift and brighten my face. Now we're going to get better acquainted with our face and start feeling for our contours. I am taking my fingers and I'm pressing on my bones. I'm finding where the divots underneath my cheekbones are, where my cheekbone starts and stops. I'm really getting to know where those bones are so that I can appropriately place my makeup. I'm also pinching my cheeks and really acquainting myself with where the apples of my cheeks are so that I don't place my blush too far forward or too high. Next, for a quick layer of primer. Again, knowing your skin will help you apply the appropriate primer for you. For me, I want something hydrating that will just hold on to the makeup and make me look nice and juicy. So now we're going to apply foundation. I have my Beauty Blender sponge and a cream foundation, and I am bouncing that over my skin. Now, I love beauty blenders. 1, I don't like washing brushes, but 2, it is multi-purpose. I can use it for a lot of different things, and of course, it blends out beautifully. So I put a little bit of foundation on the bottom of my sponge. I like to use that bottom end, and I just bounce it over my skin. The biggest thing here to make your foundation last longer is to really take your time and press it in. Okay, now the foundation is on, we have a clean base. I am taking a look at where the light is reflecting off of my face. Why? Because this is going to show me where I need to mimic and put my highlighter. Hello, highlight where the light goes? Yes. So the light is naturally reflecting off of the highest points of my face, and I want to mimic that with the concealer to make it look like the light is always there. Also, I'm paying attention to where the light isn't hitting. Where are my shadows? Where is it the darkest? Where's the light naturally not making it to? Alright, so now we're going to color correct. In order to have the best color payoff, I need to go ahead and cancel out any pre-existing darkness before I add my lights. I like to color correct on top of foundation and lightly. I'm not streaking a bunch of orange across my face. I am lightly patting this orange shade to cancel out any gray or muddy hues over top of the foundation. It's not drastically changing the color. It's not turning anything orange. It's erasing the darkness that I could see through the foundation. Now on to the fun stuff. I'm going to place my concealer in the high points of my face. I don't want to use a whole lot of this product. I don't want to actually fill up all of the space that I need to highlight. I am going to leave space for me to blend. So apply a little bit. Take the tip of my sponge instead of the back of the sponge. So the tip of the sponge is clean. And I'm just lightly blending it out. I don't want to go beyond where the light hits. Now we're adding definition. I'm going back through, feeling for my cheekbone, and as a guide, I'm using the back of my brush to really press into my cheekbone and place the contour right above it. Again, we need space to blend. Also, to create the illusion of a lifted look, I mean, you put the shadow a little bit higher than it should be. Also going for the corners of my eyes. That's really my favorite place to contour. Really brings my eyes together, makes it bigger, bring it up, and on the outside of my eyes for a lift, and just a tad bit on my chin to suck it in. And now with the first brush used in this application, I am going to blend out that contour. I'm using this brush because it is the perfect shape to fit right underneath my cheekbones. I like him soft, I like it fluffy, and I'm just bouncing that over the contour just like I would a beauty blender. And I'm gonna keep going until those lines just slowly start to disappear. Blending is serious business. I will say it again, blending is serious business. If anybody tells you that you don't really need to blend, girl, they are a bold-faced lie. Blending is what makes you look natural. Blending is what makes it look real. Blending is what makes it you. Now back at it with this beauty blender. I am going over my highlights and I am blending my highlight over my nose contour. Sounds like a weird concept, but I want that shadow to be underneath the lights of my foundation. I don't like a very stand out-ish nose contour, and so this is my method of hiding it. Now I'm going back with the bottom of the sponge. This is the side that I use to apply my foundation. I'm using it as a blender slash eraser. I want it to mute out, especially along the jawline, and further get rid of any lines of demarcation, mesh that color in with my foundation, clean underneath my contour so that it's not going too deep, just really giving it a nice soft blend out into everything else. Alright, so now we are blended. We are turning. Take a look at where the light hits, where the highlights are, where the contours are, and also take a look at the blending. Do you see where anything starts and stops? Not even underneath my chin. That is the biggest place of demarcation. You do not want lines underneath your chin. Now I'm going to do what I like to call a wet set. Before I powder my foundation, I add a setting spray and I use my beauty blender to just press that in to my concealers and foundations while it's still wet to add a extra oomph of locking it in. Now I'm going to go ahead and do a dry set with a translucent powder. Basically, I'm just going to put this powder all over my face. I am loading my brush with powder, tapping it off to get off the initial excess. Then I'm going to tap it into the brush and tap more off. So now my brush is full and loaded, and I'm just going to tap that all over my face just like it was a sponge or a beauty blender and mattify my entire face this way. Now with this pressed powder, I'm going to use it to tone my face, bring some of that color back, and to further set the outer edges of my face where it's just a little bit darker than the center where my highlight is. Also, I'm going back and reinforcing my under eye, so with just a tad bit more powder, I'm just pressing that in under my eyes. Just like with my cheeks, I'm going in and I'm feeling out the contours of my eyes. I'm pressing my brush underneath that orbital bone to understand where my crease is exactly. Now with the cream eyeshadow, I am applying that right up into my crease, and I'm just going to blend that out. Next, I'm taking this brown shade that's close to my skin tone with a flat, fluffy brush, and I'm placing that right into my crease. That color is going to soften and blend out that cream eyeshadow as well as define that crease just enough to give me a contour on my eye. Now I'm going in with a darker brown, and I am going to deepen just the outer corner of my eye. With a black eyeliner pencil, I am wiggling that in between my lashes, right on my lash line, to create some depth. I'm not focusing on getting a perfect line because it will just be smudged out later. To smudge that line, I'm using a brush that's a little flat and fluffy, and I'm just pressing that onto the eyeliner, not to move it too much. I just want to blur that line. I don't want to blend it across my eyelid. So I'm pressing it, get rid of any harsh lines of demarcation, and keeping it where I need it to be. Now doing the same on the bottom outer half of my eye. I'm not going to take this all the way in to the inner corner to keep a bright and open look. With the Q-tip, I'm going to do some light cleaning. I don't want to blend that down too far, and a generous, healthy coating of mascara. I'm mapping out my eyebrows first so I know how far out and how high. I know where everything should go. Just like where my contour should go, my face tells me where my eyebrows should go. And so you see they are just a little short, and so I'm going to take my pencil, starting from the bottom, hair-like strokes, and I'm just gonna lightly fill that in until it reaches the length that it was supposed to reach. You see, the key with eyebrow pencils is pressure. The harder you press down on that pencil, the more color payoff you're gonna get. The lighter pressure, the softer the color. So as I move towards the beginning of my brow, I start barely touching my skin. Going in with the brow gel will darken the actual hairs of my brows and also hold them in place. So this gives me definition without looking too fake. Now with the finishing touches of bronzer and blush, I am with an angled brush just lightly fluffing that bronzer over everywhere that I put my contour. Now I'm applying blush right in that area that I defined earlier, and not too high, not too low. I don't want it to sink into my contours or impede with my highlight. Perfect blush placement works just like your contour. It adds shape and color to my face. Now, just a little dusting of highlighter on top. Now, one more time with this beauty blender, I'm gonna go underneath my eyes, kind of sweep away any extra product, blend out any creases that may have formed, if they formed, and we're gonna final set. One last heaping dose of setting spray. Make sure I'm nice and wet and blend that in so I can make sure that I have full coverage. On the lips, I'm keeping it simple. I'm using a brown pencil. I'm pretty sure it's an eyebrow pencil. I feel like eyebrow pencils give me the best browns. And just filling in and lining my lips. And then I'm gonna top it with the NYX gloss and call it a day. Yes. And this is the look. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I enjoyed creating this tutorial for you guys, and I hope I was able to teach you something new.